man remaining. At a combined weight of 480 pounds, from Hollywood, California, Hollywood John Tatum and Jack Victory.
Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, the Fantastics. And this should be a tremendous matchup. I want to remind everyone of our national television tapings, Power Pro Wrestling, right here in the Cowtown Coliseum tomorrow night at 7:30. Also, 1 week from tonight, the Universal Wrestling national taping in the Tulsa Convention Center. Tremendous, tremendous national tapings. We hope that you'll be a part of it. And I do want to remind everyone that right here next week on the program, Sunshine will be my guest color analyst, and Dr. Steve Williams will make his Cowtown Power Pro debut. Michael Hayes will be back with us, as will Terry Taylor.
Of 420 pounds from the City of Angels, Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, the Fantastics.
Very good program, but let me tell you something. This is a match I've been waiting for, only because, and simply because, the man you are seeing right now, the Fantastics, are the former champions. So are the men that are in the ring, John Tatum and Jack Victory. John Tatum and Jack Victory defeated the Fantastics for the title. And that bad Leroy Brown and Owen beat Tatum and Victory. But never mind bad Leroy Brown right now. Never mind Bill Owen, because we have a matchup. And like we were talking earlier, Jim, if this was not for the ratings, which it is, because the probably, most likely, the team that wins here will get a title shot. It would be a very hot match anyway. And I'm telling you, I can't wait for this match to get started, because there's going to be a lot of action.
Well, I'll tell you what, last week here in that sixth man, that man right there, Tommy Rogers, was pile-driven by that man, Hollywood John Tatum, with the help of Jack Victory. So there's scores to be settled there. The Fantastics have smiles on their faces, but I will assure you that once they step foot in that squared circle, Chavo, it's down to serious business.
You said it right there. You know, they're fantastic because that's what they are. They go out for the fans, and they're kissing the fans are kissing with them. They got to reform with the fans, but once they get in the ring, the smiles go away. And I was with Tommy Rogers earlier, and he worried that he said, Chavo, now, brother, I'm going to go in there, and that John Tatum is going to regret that he ever power drive me. And I believe it, and we're going to find out.
Fantastics coming to their patented ZZ Top music to the ring here at the Cowtown Coliseum. Don't forget, tomorrow night, you can be a part of this national excitement here at the Coliseum starting at 7:30. Dr. Death will be here, Michael P.S. Hayes, Terry Taylor, and Sunshine.
Sunshine, huh?
Will be my guest color commentator. That should be very interesting.
But she's got a couple of things to say.
I'm anxious to spend an hour with Sunshine here at the podium. I want to make that perfectly clear as well. And also, 1 week from tonight, the Universal taping in Tulsa, the national taping at the Convention Center. And this, we've got our business out of the way, and it's time for the real business at hand. This very, very important tag team matchup in the careers of these four men. As John Tatum, I guess, has proven that the Fantastics aren't the only team with rhythm and a little bit of boogaloo or whatever.
Well, Bobby Fulton showing them a little classy boogaloo there, and telling them, in other words, you know what? But we're going to find out once the seriousness gets down here to wrestling. And there's the headlock with a beautiful takeover, a hip toss headlock there. Now, you got to be very careful here, because the referee has got a blind spot. He cannot see, and often you see this move taken into place, and what happens is that it's very easy for the bottom man, in this case, Jack Victory, to pull the tights. The referee can't see. He's got a blind spot. He throws him into the ropes. Comes on one tackle. Bobby Fulton into the ropes. Throws an elbow by Victory, and oh boy.
Well,
a little Bobby Fulton.
Little mind game.
Yeah.
A little psyching out there.
Bobby Fulton is known for this, but it worked for him. So the fans love it. His opponents don't like it too much, but I'll tell you what.
They're consoling each other.
Yes.
They're consoling each other.
I'll tell you, man, this Jack Victory and John Tatum are an awesome team. I've been watching them And, you know, they weren't champion for very long. But, brother, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if they become champions again because they are one super team.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I know that you were one red-hot man after the last match I saw the Universal Wrestling Federation. What happened with Jack Victory? He really got involved in your situation. I don't want to get that that temper stirred up for yours, Chavo.
Well, you just did. You know that wasn't called for. I like it, but look, what a combination! Did you see the combination? I wish we had a little replay there where Bobby Fulton came in, did a beautiful move off the move, tagged Bobby Fulton. Tommy Rogers threw him in, and Tommy came in with a beautiful drop kick right on the face of Jack Victory, and they got the momentum on their side right now. Tommy, don't do that, Tommy. That'll be an automatic disqualification. And Tommy does it anyway, but right on the stomach muscles there, picks him up. I think he took his breath down, took his wind down. What do you think?
I think so. I'll tell you, Rogers' drop kick is as perfect as can be. I'll tell you, if we slowed that thing down and looked at it, his execution is immaculate. And Victory, I'll tell you, that shows the sportsmanship of Tommy Rogers. Might not have been real sound tactically, but he allowed Victory to go make the tag. Because he, you know, I think that that's the kind of guys they are.
Well, not only that, but you remember what we were talking about last week. Who's the one that power drive Tommy Rogers to the floor? That man right there, Tatum. So I'm sure that he's not only a gentleman, but he wants Tatum in the ring. Now the question is, will Tatum get in the ring? As I'm seeing, I don't think he sent Jack back out there. Jack doesn't like it too much. There's the tag. Nah, we got something cooking here. Or did he tag him back in? Come on, Tatum, get in there.
Hollywood John taking his good old time about coming in the ring.
I don't think he really wants to go in there, Jim.
At the Cowtown Coliseum. No, I'll tell you, I've equated the Fantastics to the Boston Celtics or the LA Lakers. You know, they're a fast-breaking team. They'll kick this thing in gear. That's another thing of why they're so evenly matched with Tatum and Victory, because that's Tatum and Victory style. They like to kick it in gear. They like to get on that other level and go with it.
Well, Tommy Rogers being very cautious because, you know, the worst thing you can do in any sport, whether it be a contact-to-contact sport 101, whether it be a team sport like football, basketball, whatever, you can't lose your mind because your mind, your brain controls, sends commands to the rest of your body. So in this case, if Tommy Rogers lost his cool, as we say, if he didn't chill out.
As old Hacksaw says, keep your composure. Let's keep our composure.
Well, you got to keep your composure so that you can go in there and function mentally, and if you function mentally, then you can function physically.
Very good point by Chavo Guerrero. And Tatum attempting some fisticuffs. Rogers is ready for that. Hollywood John with a smile on his face.
I think he's yelling. I can read his lips, but he's saying, wait, boy, what happened to you last time we were here? And I think that's just what it's called, psychological. You know, you saw Muhammad Ali used to do it all the time on his interviews. And in the ring, used to talk to, come on, you can't hit me, you can't hit me. And that's exactly what Tatum is doing at this point. But it's not working because Tommy Rogers got an arm bar on him. He tags Bobby Fulton. Bobby Fulton runs, jumps, leaps over. Tommy Rogers comes out on their arm. A very familiar move by the team of the Fantastic. John Tatum trying to tag out, and he does. And Bobby Fulton lets go and gets ready for Jack Victory.
You know, I mentioned a few moments ago that Michael P.S. Hayes will be with us here next week. Maybe we'll get a report on Bam Bam Gordy's injury. I know Dr. S.D. Williams is very excited about his Cowtown Power Pro debut here in the Metroplex. Terry Taylor will be back with us here next week. And as I mentioned, Sunshine will be sitting in Chavo Guerrero's chair in the next hour of Power Pro Wrestling as Jack Victory, one of the finest young athletes in the profession. And I'll tell you, they're doing a lot of walking and talking, and they better get down to attacking. And I guess, even though they can't hear me, that's what they're doing here now.
I think they can hear you, Jim Ross, because as soon as you said that they went for it, there's a quick tag. Tatum's going to work. They're still a little flamboyant here. We'll see if that works for them. And I'll tell you mentioned one name here that'll be here next time, Dr. Death Williams, Steve Dr. Death. And I'll tell you people, if you haven't seen him, if you haven't seen Dr. Death in action, you are in for a treat.
He's a brute. And now, yes, sir, Bobby Fulton backing Hollywood John Tatum into his corner with those right hands. You know, Chavo, one of the reasons that I think this match is being so cautiously fought is what's on the line. They both desperately want a shot at the UWF Tag Team Championship.
That's a very good point, Jim. You said it all right there. Now, we said they could go in there and have a disqualification, but what's a disqualification going to do? They need a win. Either team right now needs a win so that they can get rated. Oh. And that's a good move by Bobby Fulton. Moves out of the way, and now he's taking advantage of it. He thinks it's the referee.
Boom! Boom right in the face. Hollywood John's reaching for the tag. He's in Never Land. He's somewhere down around Rodeo Drive there in Hollywood, Chavo. There's some strange folks hanging out down on that street.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, they're doing the star here. This is what we call a star in professional wrestling. And what it is, it's a rowboat. It's a rowboat. You can see why they call it a rowboat. It's like rowing a boat. And you can see where the pressure is, the pain is. And, of course, the referee's got to break it. There's 4 men in the ring at the same time. And that picture tells it all right there.
The anguish on Hollywood John Tatum's face, the groin muscles, and those thigh muscles, the quadricep, the biggest muscle in the lower extremities, it's easily pulled, and it is very, very tender. Tommy Rogers, that's got to be a little bit intimidating. Now, Tatum wants to be buddies. Let's all be friends.
It's a little late for that.
Not too sincere, I might add as well. Look at him. I didn't mean to pile drive you.
Yeah. Well, I know Tommy Rogers not going to fall for this because they're experienced. They've wrestled many a team, and they're not going to fall for this. And John Tatum is pushing his luck. And you said earlier, they better get down to business because the Fantastics are no pushover. I'll tell you that right now.
We're inside 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen, of television time here on Power Pro Wrestling. And as is customary here, we will keep it here as long as is possible in this matchup between the Fantastics, Hollywood John Tatum and Jack Victory.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jim, I wish we had more TV time because I know things are going to get hot. They're going to get hot, as you can see right now. And there goes Tommy Rogers to work. They're going one-on-one. He throws him into a turnbuckle, but no, Rogers reverses it. He goes in for a monkey flip, and there's Jack, very opportune.
Opportunistic.
The referee couldn't do anything because Jack Victory came out through the apron, and he hit him. A very good move on the part of Jack Victory.
Less than 30 seconds left, ladies and gentlemen, here on Power Pro Wrestling. A tremendous program here next week, as we'll keep it right here as long as possible. Sunshine will be our guest color commentator, Dr. Death, Michael Hayes, and Terry Taylor, and many more here with us next week. As this tremendous match draws to a close here in our time, I want to thank Chavo Guerrero for being with us. For Jim Ross, I'll see you next